actually kind of warm in here today.
Okay.
I know.
Crazy.
I'll take it.
Oh, today we're doing the thing, the simile metaphor things.
Yep, poetry devices.
Here, I'm gonna go put my jacket on my book. Oh, I'm gonna build it. Hey, did you see her?
Found an arm.
I heard someone when we were walking in. There.
So this one's going to be
I remember that vividly. I dropped the razor. You remember that was her excuse? Well, we had a sweatshirt. And I dropped the razor on one side, and mom made me sit in the weird having like someone just put lotion on? It smells good. I have just put perfume. It smells like carp cleaner. Perfume. We were talking. It smells like love this time. Hey. It was a look. We remember that. I dropped a razor on there. I dropped a razor. It worked off for that long. And then my mom shaved the other one. And then you're having one off. Yeah, because I only had one eyebrow. She shaved the other one. Because then I had one. That was
Morning. All right.
I think it's funny.
We are all, yes, we're all here. Awesome. Okay, so guys, yesterday we refreshed our memory on some poetry devices because Miss Link is here today. I told you she'd be doing a couple activities with you, and that information from yesterday is going to come in handy today. It's not imperative that you memorized it or anything like that because you're going to have some ways to interact with that information today, so don't worry about that, but I kind of wanted you to have a heads up. So, take it away, Miss Link.
Thank you. So, today our title of the lesson is called Lyrics Tell the Tale. So, I don't know if she just said it, but would anyone like to take a whack at what that might mean? Yes, I saw your hand go up first.
Poetry.
Poetry.
The date's wrong.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the 4th, isn't it?
Yeah.
I dated it for yesterday when I made it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Today is April 4th. Okay, anyone want to elaborate on the idea that it's just about poetry? No. Music? Music as a form of poetry is what we're getting at. So, who does like poetry? Who does not like poetry?
I like music.
The majority, but you like music, so song lyrics often look like poetry. Before, of course, they get put to sheet music and all of that. If you isolate them and break them up into verses, they look like poetry. So, hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll be more comfortable digging into poetry because we're trying to relate it to something that typically everyone likes, and that is music. So, learning goals for today include developing a deep and robust understanding of poetic devices, like you reviewed yesterday and like we're going to review a little bit today. So doing this, you're going to utilize your critical thinking and problem solving skills. You're going to work in groups later. So in those groups, you're going to demonstrate effective communication and collaboration. You're going to hopefully exhibit creativity, curiosity, and a passion for learning. And then in those groups, you're also going to demonstrate honorable morals and character, and understand and accept that there can be more than one right answer. So ultimately, you're going to be interacting with lyrics as a form of poetry and working to identify various poetic devices, as well as to find meaning in the author's usage of those devices. And then afterwards, if we have time, you will reflect on your learning on your own one-on-one with a wrap-up question. So our learning objectives are to review the poetic devices, analyze song lyrics to identify the various poetic devices, identify and determine the impact of the lyricist's usage of poetic devices on the song's meaning. And I see some of you eyeballing the camera. That is just only recording me. It's up there. No worries, it's just for my own benefit for a different class. Then, from this, you will understand that lyrics are a form of poetry. You will understand how to dissect a piece of poetry and search for its meaning. And then how to analyze poetry, such as considering the author's choices and the impact those choices have on the meaning and tone. So, what this will look like, and I know you're going to get excited, is a review game of Kahoot. So don't open your Chromebooks quite yet. After we review on Kahoot, I'm going to model your activity for you so you know what you're doing. Then you're going to do the activity in groups of 3 to analyze those lyrics, and then we'll reflect. So go ahead, pull up Kahoot, Kahoot.it. I will too.
Sorry, I post. Just pretend I'm not here. I will forewarn you guys that Miss Link has created there are some trick questions. So although Kahoot is a speed game, you want to be very careful because first period, people were just kind of click happy and they realized they would click and then they would realize they were wrong almost instantly. So there are about 2 or 3 of them that are very tricky, so you have to be thinking, just forewarning you.
Thinking, there are some tricky ones like she said, and then I tried to put pictures as much as I could that helped you, that were little hints. Some of them aren't relevant, but some of them are. So go ahead and use an appropriate nickname. You don't have to use your name.
This music's like, I should play this in the hallway.
So just a little insight into college. We still get very excited when Kahoot gets pulled up on the screen. And one day we were playing it just as like a instructional strategy, and we turned the music up really loud and we're like jamming out to it. Yeah. That was our mental break for the day.
Hamburger head?
Okay, I think we've got all 21 in here. Are we missing anyone?
Yep, 21.
Okay. We've got Mayor McCheese. Okay, ready?
I'm sorry.
Let's remember to not get too rowdy, but you can talk. Don't shout out the answers, whatever you think they are. And let's begin. So the definition, words that appeal to one of the 5 senses. What is that?
I don't know. I don't get it.
Hint.
Let's go.
Okay, good job. Imagery. We have Lily. The ends of lines have a pattern of repeating sounds.
Ends of lines.
We have to be like, no!
Trick it,
I didn't get it right. I'm gonna say.
Right.
She gotcha.
I heard repeating sound, and I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Ends
I was
of
alluding to that.
line. Keyword.
Okay, I gotta try to
Ends
get
of
it right.
line.
Yeah, get it right.
Okay, this is another tricky one. Repeating consonant sounds at the beginning of words. So like Dunkin' Donuts.
I don't know.
we talked about this yesterday. I got it wrong. Well, I think I got it wrong.
I told you it's a trick, so what do you do? There you go.
I got it right. I'm 65 points.
I thought it was like that was like the same thing.
Well, consonants is actually,
I'm 8 behind.
it can happen anywhere in the word.
Oh.
So like, how do you do that?
Oh, we have a replacement for first
That's
place.
like also an example, but it's.
Repeating vowel sounds. Vowel sounds within words.
Oh, it's an avocado.
Yeah, because the seed is scooped out, so I was like, within the avocado. That was not quite a hit. But I mean, it could work avocado.
I like avocado.
Yeah.
Who's hamburger on that?
A.
Yeah, that's the only reason I don't like avocado.
I like avocado.
But the next picture is an avocado.
I could just eat it.
Repeating consonant sounds within words. I tricked you again.
Okay.
So we've already answered alliteration.
Yeah.
So
Process of elimination means
Oh, I got it wrong.
I got it right. Second.
That was the same question.
I'm in for
no. Sorry.
I need to be up there.
A direct comparison. Direct comparison.
Life is a barren field.
Yep.
Covered with snow.
That's what it is. It's definitely.
Okay, you'll see why in the next question.
Next question's probably.
Next one. And just beware, I do a little switcheroo, so.
You're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to let everyone fail.
I know, but it's okay. I was tricky.
Oh.
Did you get it right?
Well, that was fast.
I'm still in second.
Dude.
How many more answers?
She said she did a little
I went
Right,
from
what
second.
question?
2 more.
Oh, easy.
Giving human qualities to non-human things. Cereal is smiling.
Wow. That was so fast.
We got that wrong.
Mayor McCheese.
I didn't get it right.
We keep switching first place. Nice job. Okay. Last one. Excessive exaggeration for effect.
Yay! We all got it right.
Yay! You all got it right. Jordan Tyson. And then we have Kaya.
I'm in the top 5.
And Anthony. Okay, let's go ahead and close our Chromebooks. Recenter and focus ourselves.
I said dang. That's going to be my background.
And do not worry if you did not get every single question right. Because at the beginning of the document you're going to be working with, the first page is a review sheet that you can refer to while you're working, so you don't have to remember all of the devices, all of their examples, and all of their definitions, okay? So to model this for you, our work, I have the song White Liar by Miranda Lambert. This is only 2 verses. It is not the whole song, so we might not be able to answer all of these questions in full. But if we were to look at the document, I would have a hint here, or at least one thing that is within the song. I think this one says simile, personification, and imagery. So if we come over here, simile is a figurative language device. And then I said imagery, that's a poetic device. And then I said personification, that is a figurative language device. So now let's look for those within the song. Where do we see simile? I'll read it to you first. Hey, white liar, the truth comes out a little at a time, and it spreads just like a fire, slips off of your tongue like turpentine, and I don't know why, white liar. Yeah.
It spreads just like a fire.
Just like a fire. There's another one. Yeah.
Slips off your tongue like whatever that says.
Turpentine.
That.
So we've got 2 lights. So what you're going to do with those 2 lines in whatever song that you choose is copy and paste those lines to this question here and then explain your thinking.
We would pick this one.
Yep, there's 10 songs to choose from.
Oh, we
You
can choose.
choose one within your group. So your group will be around 3 people. And then you're all going to agree on one song to analyze. So like I said, you copy and paste the figurative language devices, which are again identified on the very first page, and then explain your thinking. If we're looking at poetic devices, like I said, imagery, where do we see some imagery? Where can you imagine whatever this looks like? Yes.
I don't know, kind of like where the similes are.
Yeah. So you copy and paste those, but also highlight them and just leave them where they are, and then come over here and explain your thinking. Does that make sense? I'll show you the document before you get into it. So, here's the sheet I was talking about, the review sheet. It tells you the definition of content versus message, because there is a question pertaining to both. Then it tells you poetic devices, and then it gives you examples of those. Then it tells you figurative language devices and gives you examples of those. And then here you'll put your name, your group members' names, the song you choose. Here are the directions. This is the example we just did. It's just to jog your memory. I didn't actually put the answers we discussed because that could vary class to class. And then it starts with Love Story by Taylor Swift. And like I said right here, I identified that there is a metaphor in this song. You'll scroll through the song, and then answer the questions. Okay? So it's song, questions, song, questions. And if you want to listen to the song before you begin analyzing it, you may. I recommend headphones or listening to it quietly. And then in both class periods so far, one person has kept running music in the background if one of you wants to do that. So, your groups. And we'll move all at once. We have Kaya, Tyson, and Courtney. Then we have Anna, Emma, and Laker. Lakay, sorry.
Every time I read it the wrong way when I see it on paper.
Abby and Brooklyn, that's our group of 2. And then we have Carolyn, Kara, and Allie. Then we have Macy, so everyone can hear. Macy, Bryant, and Evan. Cooper, Anthony, and Trevor. Annie, Hannah, and Lily.
Can we stay on the floor?
Yeah, just group up in a little circle. So you can move your desks around, sit closely.
Join Abby. I knew there was somebody missing. I just couldn't figure out who it was.
Like right there. Smash your fingers?
Abby and Brooklyn is going to join you.
Do you want me to punch you so then you can go to somewhere else? Sorry. Use your water.
Mr. Mayor McCheese, you left Mayor McCheese on. That's good.
I feel like this one.
What's the ring smiling? Alright, that's a big move.
Yeah.
Starts crying. He's about to.
But like the person I am, I probably would. Just because I'm very. Everything sounds definitely like
So once you get into the document, you'll have until 26. So 10:26 to work in your groups, and then with the last 3 minutes, we'll answer the reflection question.
Do we have to do all the songs?
Just one.
Pick one.
Oops, sorry, Brian.
That's not the right one.
Just one. Allie, I'm just moving this a little bit out of the way.
Here, bro.
That's good.
Wait, what is oh, this thing?
Oh, yeah, sorry. This song.
Okay.
Like, I think all the songs.
We choose a song.
I think all the songs.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. Oh, wait. Oh, we do it on this one.
Yeah, there's like different types of songs. Okay, let's see. So we have bus. I'm gonna go find out. You guys want to do that one? The desk until. Yeah. Oh my God, there's 24 pages. There's.
There's 4.
Oh, is that on here?
There's 50
Oh, we're
errors.
Oh my goodness. There's 50 errors.
Yeah, my
You just stuck in your kid. Dang,
Okay,
there's
this is
50
not-
errors. My grandma says there's 50 errors.
My grandma does this.
It's because it's songs they can use improper.
Stop! Don't ever disrespect my grandma like that. Don't ever disrespect no back.
Because you have to turn it on. That's why it's not working.
By the way, he was like glaring at you in the hallway. He said something about that.
Oh, shoot.
Beat it, but
I just bless you.
I showed it. I'm not taking the time. Get it? Yeah.
Can you hear me? Flowers are red.
If you want, oh, see, your grandma's working. It's just not turned on.
Pick one, honestly. I just said my grandma was working.
Oh, no.
I heard that too.
I'll go like this. You know that?
Eyeballing some songs.
No.
Any of them sticking out to you?
Why'd you do that? Now I'm gonna get annoyed. There's 50 errors. I was
And then we answer the question.
Let's do that one. Which one? Oh my god. Especially
What song do you guys
flowers are red. We can do the love story by Taylor Swift. No. You. We cannot.
Wait, what hour?
I like Taylor Swift.
Okay, I used to I don't know why.
We didn't start fighting. It's at the bottom. It's on like page 16.
It says maybe forget.
No, it's like this. I mean, yeah.
Choose one.
I said we could do,
We did a circle.
Okay.
relate to the song.
I don't don't think anyone's chosen that song today.
Wait,
I kind of just like scroll
what
through.
This kind of looks. Wait, can we start editing?
In this song, you can start.
Okay, we're gonna start over here because this part.
What page is 15.
And you can listen to it here for you. Alright, start.
CHORUS. Is Hidden Sapphire by Billy Joel.
Said the lyrics are about a left thing, being activity.
Everything wrong with
Wait, why is it $2?
Probably like,
Oh, one question. Is that like
stop.
Life on the streets.
Wait, the message of the listener to be the story.
Why would you choose tragic?
Okay, Oh, I just found it.
Here.
Okay, no, I don't know. Are they just naming stuff and people? Richard Nixon.
North Korea. South Korea.
Okay.
Man, typing.
Same thing.
1951.
And I had that big giant task line. I typed that and then I typed like 5 letters.
Do they just
Vaccinate your children.
How do you write it?
Oh, this is basically like a timeline of the song.
I said, what is this? I said, they're trying to show that these two are the guy.
Pick the board.
You want to pick love story? Wait, I want to. What's how does it go again? How does the love story?
Oh no, 3
And like love stories.
No, I want
learn,
those.
turn, outdoors.
Oh, that's
All the way up there.